Disease can occur at any time during the corn growing season, so it's important to know the signs and to scout regularly. Corn stalk diseases in particular should be scouted toward the end of the growing season. The presence of stalk disease will impact decisions about crop and integrated pest management, or IPM. Allison Robertson, an extension field pathologist with Iowa State University, emphasizes the importance of understanding stalk diseases and scouting.
If you're scouting for ear rots or stalk rots, then obviously that's going to be towards the end of the season. So it really depends on what you're looking for.
Significant corn stalk diseases include bacterial stalk rot, charcoal rot, Fusarium stalk rot, anthracnose stalk rot, Gibberella stalk rot, and Diplodia stalk rot.
This plant has died prematurely. Most of this crop here is at R5, beginning dent. That would be typical of a stalk rot. There's probably stalk rot going on this plant. A lot of times with diseases, what you're going to see is you're either going to see a single plant that's infected, especially with a stalk rot, or you might see a group of 2 or 3 plants. But it would be unusual to see a whole patch of plants, especially so early. So the first thing you'll notice is just plants that are starting to die off. To identify what stalk rot is going on, we have to look at the outside of the stalk, and then we also have to split the stalk in half and look at the inside.
Determining just what type of stalk rot you're dealing with requires further investigation.
If we look at the outside of the stalk, we can see some dark lesions, and that might indicate that we're looking at anthracnose stalk rot. Sometimes Fusarium stalk rot will also do that. What we need to do is split that stalk and then just have a look at the pith. If the pith is discolored pink to red, then we're looking at Gibberella stalk rot. If it's just discolored and shredded, then we're probably looking at Fusarium stalk rot. And if it's discolored and brown, then we're looking at anthracnose stalk rot.
One unusual symptom that may be initially confused with stalk rot is actually the node rot phase of Physoderma, which causes the more familiar brown spot.
Just here at the node, you can see some rotting. And then if you just gently pull on this plant, it'll snap right at that rotted node. Then if you look at the node, you can see the rot around the node here and the rot around the node here. But notice that the pith is completely clean. So that's why we rather call it a node rot as opposed to a stalk rot. It's very important to scout for disease, especially when you're using integrated pest management practices to manage that disease. The big thing about diseases is that they affect yield potential. And so we need to know what diseases are in a field. Some of those diseases can be managed during the growing season. So by getting into the field and scouting and seeing what diseases you have, you can make a call whether you want to use a fungicide, for example. Some other things about scouting for diseases is just knowing what disease is present in your field and therefore how you might want to manage it in the future, using various agronomic methods, rotating that crop, maybe doing some sort of minimum tillage, adjusting fertilization. So just taking all of those integrated practices into account to manage the disease. Stalk rots and ear rots are caused by fungi that survive in the residue. Rotation will help because that'll allow that residue to break down between this corn crop and the next corn crop. The other thing is to make a note of what stalk rot you have. Do you have anthracnose? Do you have Fusarium? Do you have Gibberella? Next time you go in, choose a hybrid that has resistance to one of those diseases.
In addition, fungicides applied early in the season may reduce stalk rot by managing foliar disease. Visit cropscience.bayer.us/learning center to learn more about how additional best management practices can help corn growers secure the best yields and return on investment.